Hey everybody, welcome back to Unwind, a place where you can sit back and relax, and a place for us to dump whatever is on our minds onto you. Thanks for tuning in, and please don't forget to check out our Patreon page, where our patrons can get the latest episodes first, and get exclusive perks you can't find anywhere else.
I'm Chris.
I'm Kenny. Let's get into this.
Welcome back.
Woo!
Oh,
It's been a while,
it has been a hot minute.
but not really.
Like, you guys get these pretty scheduled, so for you guys, like, this is just 1 week. For us, it's been, like, almost 2 weeks because we recorded at the beginning of last week.
Yeah,
And now the end of this week.
we're crazy.
Most kids are going
Wild.
out, like, partying and stuff, and we're like, wow, we went, like, 10 days between episodes. We are going off the deep end!
I barely saw you this week, and I was sad.
That's because I was dying. Like, not
Yeah.
literally, but, like, I've been sick a lot.
Yeah.
And
How was that?
how was that?
Yeah.
It was awesome. Like, 10 out of 10 experience.
Yeah.
Would
Snow
recommend.
hits, and then you're just like, oh, fudge, I am sick.
Yeah. It was pretty gross. Like, my system's not acclimatized at all now to any sort of weather.
Yeah.
So, basically, as soon as it got below, like, -2, -2, I was just
Done
toast.
for.
Toast. So, yeah, it's really classic cold. Head, neck, and back was achy. Makes you sort of feel like a 50-year-old person.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
My sister got sick, too.
Shout out 50-year-old people. Like your sister.
Like my sister. But she was like, I need to make some congee, which is just like rice porridge, kind of. Just
Yeah.
easy on the stomach and everything.
That's fair.
And then, so I came home from school, and then she's like, try it. I was like, okay. It was so salty. She's like, I can't taste anything. And
Oh,
she's like, I thought it wasn't salty enough, so I kept adding salt. I was like, oh, this is so salty.
There's like a different cold thing because I could still taste. My nose and like sinuses are super stuffed up, so I had like a headache and I felt gross.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm drinking tons of tea. I'm trying to drink hot stuff. I was eating tons of spicy noodles because spicy just clears out your system, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Big shout out for Kenny for showing me spicy noodles.
Spicy noodles. Instant noodles.
Instant noodles because, I didn't want to be out of bed for more than like 10 minutes at a time.
And it's that high quality spicy instant
Yeah,
noodles.
what are they even called?
The ones that you got, what are they called?
I can't read the
remember.
package, so I'm
There's
lost either
English
way.
on it.
Where?
On the package.
Oh, shoot. I just saw the big writing and was like, nah, fam. Yeah, because before you showed me the good noodles, we'll get back to you like next week on what they're called. Or we'll just put it in the description or something. Welcome to episode 6, featuring
It's
this
the
type of noodle.
Nongshim ones.
Nongshim.
But
Those
I
ones.
forget.
It was literally, I would just get Mr. Noodle, like from Costco, the big bulk packages of like 40.
Disgusting. It's the Shin Ramen.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
those ones so good. But
Those are
I'd get
tasty.
like these massive boxes, and then my variation was I would just take those. This was my like college special.
Mhm.
And soy sauce.
Yeah.
And then hot sauce, so usually just Frank's.
Not
And
sriracha?
Well, Frank's or sriracha, depending on who bought, because there was like 4 of us who would do this together. And then just some green onion usually.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, authentic spicy noodle.
10 out of 10.
Oh, no, they weren't. They were good. Like, they're better than just stock Mr. Noodle.
Yeah.
But they definitely weren't, like, as good as this stuff. I don't think I could go back to that now that I've had authentic, good, spicy noodles.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, like, a lot of what my being sick routine looks like. Is just lots of hot foods. Because that'll, like, help your system, I think. Or it just makes me feel better.
Tea makes you feel good.
Tea does make you feel good.
It's just like the nice, warm, fuzzy feeling that you get from eating or drinking something hot. It's so nice when you're sick.
Plus, I just feel wise when I drink tea. I don't know. Like, I feel like all the wise people I know in my life drank tea.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like when I drink tea, I just feel like Uncle Iroh.
Uncle
Sitting there,
Iroh.
like, except saying notably less. I feel like Uncle Iroh, but I talk like the Dumbo.
The Dumbo?
I literally just
Sokka?
Sokka. I had a headache this morning, so you can't blame me for not remembering names.
True.
I have a pass for today. I have a dumb pass.
Did you have any, like, things when you were a kid that your parents would do for you when you're sick?
Just like my mom was huge on soup, and
Mm-hmm.
she's big on like natural remedies
Mm.
because like not like the weird don't vaccinate your kid type of natural remedies people. I feel like that's relevant with all the stuff going on the internet to
Oh,
mention.
man.
Oh. But she'd go to like the health food store and get like the kind of natural stuff, and then
Mhm.
it was only when we got bad that she would give us other stuff.
Yeah.
And she had like an authentic reason, is because like the more drugs that you give your system, the more used to it your system
Yeah.
gets. So what happened is when we would get really sick, that's when she'd give us the actual like
Medicine.
drugs, and they'd work so much better because
Yeah.
our systems weren't used to them. So it'd just be like to the germs, and they'd just get beat up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it helped. How about you?
Yeah, my mom would just make soups and stuff, like
Mm.
herbal-y kind of Chinese soups and stuff,
Mm.
which is really nice. But she'd always make like just noodle soup, it's just chicken broth, and then like she had these special little star noodles that she would always put in. I'm like,
Yo.
oh.
Fire.
So when you're sick, it's like, I want that, please. But yeah, even tea and stuff too, and Chinese tea
That's dope.
makes you feel good.
That's dope. Yeah, like you got me the good tea now. Some good authentic green
yeah.
tea. It makes such a difference. I was never a tea person growing up,
Mhm.
and so I would only ever had like my dad's tea,
Mm.
and what he drank was like harsh black tea, and I was like, this stuff's awful. Why do people like tea? And so for years of my life, I kind of never really gave tea a second glance because I would either have that or special teas that my mom would give us when we were sick,
Okay.
and those aren't usually particularly
The
great either.
tastiest.
Yeah. And so I was always not a big fan of tea
Mm.
until I started going to authentic sushi places when I came down to the
Yeah.
coast here. And they, instead of giving you water, they'll give you green tea,
Yep.
and it's fantastic.
So good.
The first time I went, I drank.
It's almost like a
12
palate
cups.
cleanser.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
just nice.
it's just that subtle flavor that just eases the soul into feeling relaxed. And just makes sushi even better than sushi already was. You know?
Oh yeah. I need to take you out for dim sum sometime.
What's dim sum?
It's kind of like Chinese brunch.
Sweet.
So it's like dumplings and just a whole bunch of other stuff, rice and stuff. Oh,
Is it like an actual meal, or is it more just little bits and pieces of a bunch of stuff?
altogether it's a meal. But you like order like one order of something, and then if it's like a dumpling, there's usually like 4 or 5 in each order.
Mm,
But then you usually just go with friends, and then you just get a little bit of
a bunch of
everything.
stuff. Yeah, because like a lot of people around here will do something called pickins, so it's just a bunch of stuff.
Mm.
But we do an authentic thing, say for family gatherings,
Mm.
called Fazba, which is German, and it's basically just an assortment of, take a cheese and cracker plate
Mhm.
and times that by 10 and add a whole bunch of crazy other fancy stuff and whatever. And so we'll do that for Christmas or
Oh, that sounds so awesome.
Christmas, or I don't really know when else we really do it, but Christmas.
Christmas.
I'm ready for Christmas. Maybe it's just because it finally snowed.
Yeah,
But
it feels like
I-
Christmas.
I feel ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
Plus, Christmas is just my favorite season. So,
Yeah. I like all this stuff. I like all the lights. Just like going through my neighborhood looking at all the lights, because there's some people that go full out on my block.
oh, that's dope.
And it's just like,
Come on.
wow, I want to do that.
Yeah. I feel like I like a good bounce, so it's just nicely done up.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see the people who have gone all out, and it's kind of just, okay, calm down a little bit. Like, I'm also excited for Christmas, but geez Louise.
Well, I leave my Christmas lights up in my house all the time. Plus, my Christmas tree is really tiny, and then I just have the lights for whenever I feel sad. I'm like, I'm going to turn on my Christmas lights.
Plus, they're not really in the way, and it just
They're
saves you
not.
time.
Yeah. And I have nowhere to store them. It's like only 2 strings of lights and then my tree. So it's like, I'm just going to leave them up instead of tearing it down
That's
every
so
year.
much nicer.
And it just makes me happy.
I had a friend, though, who their mom, they'd go home for Christmas and whatever, had about 4 or 5 Tupperware bins filled with Christmas stuff. And so December came around and was and we'll just sub in a nice folly explosion on that after.
Yeah.
Um,
That wouldn't be folly though. Just to let you know.
you know what? Nobody out there has to know
It's a hard effect.
that. It's funny because he said effect.
Schooled. Effects.
But I went over there one time, and their entire piano had like 20 little snowmen on it.
Aww.
And so I was like, it's cool. And I understand getting into the season, but how many is
a little
too
extra.
many Christmas ornaments, you know?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that I'll think to myself and be, whoa, this is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But I would never say to someone because you can't just be, you're too festive. We all know those people, and they bug me, those people.
Yeah. Well, my mom my favorite time of the year was just to decorate the house for Christmas. But my mom had like boxes and boxes of stuff too.
Yeah.
Like we would wrap garland around like the stair railings and everything, and then like add lights and everything. Oh, I just remember being like, let's decorate.
You know what classic season people love that I just don't?
Halloween?
Is Halloween.
I don't get it.
I feel like I get it. The idea of dressing up, going out with friends and stuff, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Right? But for one, like my family wasn't a fan of it. Like
Same.
they said we could, but I came from a Christian household, and they laid out all the reasons that they didn't like it and said if you really want to, they would let us, but they would prefer if we didn't. And my dad always said, hey, we'll go out tomorrow and buy a bunch of discounted crap, and you don't have to walk around for it. And little fat ass lazy me was like, okay. But plus, I had a newspaper out with my brother when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
So like, imagine 8-year-old me or whatever walking around. We had to go. It'd be early in the morning, often before it got dark, given around that season, or before it got light.
Yeah.
And there's a couple houses on our route that would do really like graphic stuff, so like decapitated heads and stuff.
That's a lot.
And it just scared me a lot
top.
as a young kid delivering papers.
Yeah.
And so I'd get my big brother, shout out my big brother, to go deliver the papers to those houses. There's the one that had these 2 giant dogs, and they scared me as a little kid.
Oh.
I feel like in hindsight, a surprising amount of weird stuff scared me as a little kid, but maybe I'm just getting introspective.
Yeah. I was a scaredy cat as a kid too, so maybe that's why I don't really like Halloween too. But yeah, my parents were never like. Actually, they wouldn't let us go. They're like, we're not going out and going to get candy and stuff. They're like, we'll just buy you candy. I'm like, okay, sure.
Darn, okay.
As long as I still get candy. But the first time I went trick-or-treating was when I was 5. I was visiting my cousins in Nanaimo.
Nice.
And then they're like, let's go trick-or-treating. I was a carrot, because that's the only other costume that they had in Nanaimo. So I was like, I'm a carrot.
I'm not even surprised. I'm not even surprised.
So that was my first trick-or-treating experience. But then, like, all up until high school, I didn't go trick-or-treating. But then grade 8, my friends were like, let's go trick-or-treating. I'm like, aren't we too old for this?
I did it in college with some of my friends. And it was a good experience, but it was also a slightly odd experience. People expect it from college students or university students, though, depending.
Yeah. So we went trick-or-treating. I went trick-or-treating from grade 8 up until grade 11 with my friends. And then grade 12, we're like, you know what? Let's be cool this year. Let's have a party. And then we had the party, and we're like, damn, this is kind of boring. Let's go trick-or-treating.
Yo, we're old now.
We were just sitting there playing games, and we're like, we should go trick-or-treating now.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah. It was fun.
It is fun. Now, as I'm older, I definitely see the fun side of it, right? We would always do stuff when I was younger, like with other friends or stuff. There was an arcade at our place that we'd go to, or in my city in Kamloops. And so it was always a good time, but it just never really had the festive feel as other
Yeah.
seasons for me.
But then just seeing like my nephew go out and trick or treat the last couple of years, it's like, oh, you're
pretty
so
cute.
cute.
pretty
It's
cute.
really cute.
It's kind of funny because me imagining, say, down the road when I would have kids, I wouldn't have anything against taking them out when they were little and
Yeah.
walk around the neighborhood. You go like 2 blocks with your little kid, right?
Mhm.
And it'd be fun and he'd have a good time and good memories. I feel my issue would be when I would have kids that were in like middle school.
Mhm.
So they're not like 12, 13. They're not young enough that you could go with them as a parent, but they're not old enough that I feel like they'd be safe walking around
Yeah.
neighborhoods by themselves. And I feel like that's a hard one to kind of balance.
Mhm.
Just buy your kid a taser and send him on his way.
Yeah. Like my neighborhood was really safe
That's nice.
because we lived out in the middle of nowhere. But like my parents wouldn't let us do anything really. We weren't allowed to go have sleepovers. We weren't
What?
allowed to go to sleepovers. We weren't allowed to have sleepovers. But then it's like I never really had that urge to ever want to go. I remember the one sleepover that I wanted to stay at was my friend's birthday party. He was hyping it up all week. He's like, "Yo, I got Napoleon Dynamite. We're gonna watch Napoleon Dynamite. It's gonna be awesome."
Of all movies.
And we're just like, "Heck yeah! This is gonna be the greatest party ever!" And then, like, before they started the movie, my parents came and picked me up, which was really weird because we live like 2 minutes away from them. So I was like, "Just let me stay.
Mom,
I just
let
want
me live
to.
my life.
I just want to watch Napoleon Dynamite."
Yo, unpopular opinion, it's not everything it's cracked up to be.
It's not.
It's
But
a
when
cult
you're in like
classic, but
when you're in like grade 5, it's the best thing ever.
that's facts. True. Can't even argue there. There's a lot of movies that I would watch as a kid and were just fire, and I would be so hype, and I'd be, dancing around the room, whatever. And now I watch them, and it's like, I don't know,
Oh no.
kind of lame.
Very lame.
Yo, has that happened to you with video games? I had this game, one of my favorite games. It's honestly still so dear to my heart, but it was a Monster Jam game, so it's monster trucks. And so it was like racing and tournament, destroying cars and stuff, and it was so sick, and it's so much fun. It was so fun, but I had such a hard time with it as a kid. I'm like, this is so hard.
Yeah.
I never technically beat the game as a kid. There was this final World Tour Tournament Cup, and I was 2 stars away. And I could never quite pass it.
Oh man.
And I found it like last year, and my mind was blown, and I was dancing around the room again because I was so hyped, and promptly beat it in about an hour and a half. And so it was a very nostalgic moment for me, but definitely underwhelming compared to what the game was to me as a kid. Has that happened to you?
A little bit. Just playing the original like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro.
Yeah.
It's like they're very dated, but it's like they're really fun still. But then when they release the remasters or the remakes of them, they look so nice.
The new Spyro's sick.
But then playing them, it's just like, this is how I felt when I was a kid playing these games. It's so crazy. But I remember even just playing old Game Boy games. Like Pokemon Blue was my first game.
Yeah, nice.
But I still pop that in and play it.
So good.
And it's just like, the graphics aren't that great or whatever, but so nostalgic. But then it's so much easier to beat now than when I was 4.
Yeah, totally. My first Pokemon game was Pokemon Ruby.
Oh, that one's good.
That was a good game.
Yeah.
It was a good game. And then I pulled it up on an emulator now, and you can play that double speed because you forget how slow those games are.
Yeah.
Diddly, 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 diddly. Bing. It's just, everything moves so slow, and it kills me now. Everything nowadays is so fast. I feel like I'm getting old. I can't even keep up with some of the new games nowadays. Some of the first-person shooters now.
I can't. I
Insane.
get dizzy, and then my eyes start to, like, burn, because I don't know if I'm blinking or not. But, like, I get a headache, and then I can't play it anymore. So I tried Fortnite, which is a third-person
Yeah.
shooter.
Third
But
person
same
aren't as bad.
thing. But oh man, my brain's like I can't keep up with this. There's too much going on.
Fortnite's crazy for that now, because the skill curve has gone up so much because there's so many players.
Mhm.
And I was never big into it. I never really got into it.
Yeah.
The game just kind of didn't click with me. But I went on to play maybe 2 weeks ago
Mhm.
on a friend's account, and now back when the game first came out, I played it a bit, kind of
Yeah.
had fun with it. It's kind of a classic another shooter game.
Mhm.
But now you shoot someone, and 5 seconds later, there's a flipping Mona Lisa statue standing in front of you, and I just don't have the skills or the dexterity, or I feel like the reaction time to keep up with
Mhm.
some of the people playing these games now. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Well, it's crazy because it's like esports, and it's like it
Yeah.
actually kind of is like a sport
Hmm.
because
Well-
you have to train,
Yeah.
and it's like you have to have the reaction time, the hand-eye coordination.
Mhm.
I'm just no, I'm not that good.
The coming up generation, I feel, has, which kind of incorporates ours, but maybe not me, has better hand-eye coordination and better reflexes,
Yeah.
but worse physical dexterity.
Mm.
So to actually do stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you get one or the other. Kids either are like sports kids or game kids. And then there's the chosen few who can do both, but
Yeah.
whatever, screw them.
So what's
Get
with
it, Chad?
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 But all these games are now like battle royale and everything. Like they just came out with like a Tetris one.
What?
So
How do
it
you-
just came out on the Switch a couple of days ago. So it's regular Tetris, but then there's 99 players altogether. It's called Tetris 99, and then you can attack certain people and then like try and get them out. I got 10th on my first try. I was like, "Whoa,
Whoa.
I'm so good at Tetris." And then the next game I got killed right away pretty much.
Shoot.
So that first one was a fluke. The highest I've gotten since then is like 22nd or something like that.
Wow. I didn't realize that there's an avid following of the game Tetris.
It was free too.
Okay, that's fair.
So I was very interested, and I've been playing it pretty much every day.
Talking about free new battle royale games smashing the market. Have you heard much about Apex?
I have kind of. I've watched some videos. I
Okay,
still don't understand.
Give me the rundown, because I just heard about it and I've been looking up stats, but I've yet to actually see how the game plays.
I feel like you know more than I do. It's pretty much just like, from what I saw, it's like just like Fortnite pretty much.
Okay.
But it's like, why is it so popular? Because they've gotten, what was it, like 10 million users?
They got for Twitch streaming records,
Mm.
they broke Fortnite's record in a quarter of the time of Fortnite, which is insane.
Mm.
And I'm not honestly sure why it's so popular. Its style is cool. I love the style.
Mm.
It's very nostalgic and reminiscent of the games. Did you ever play Borderlands?
Yeah.
The art style reminds me a
It's
ton of
it's like
that.
cell shaded and kind of cartoon, like comic booky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I absolutely love.
Mhm.
Those games, the storyline, the gameplay, the art style, I adore. They're one of
Mhm.
my favorite games of all time. So it reminds me of that. So instantly, I'm more like physically drawn to Apex. I had to word that carefully. Than to Fortnite, but
Mhm.
I don't know what it is about the actual gameplay.
It might just be because people might be sick of Fortnite too, and they want to try something else that's
Fortnite-
similar.
Kind of has a bad rep now, I feel,
Mm.
with the whole 13-year-olds playing it and negative, all that, right?
Mhm.
I just think it's a big part of it is just Apex's look, is for the massive hits that are Call of Duty, Battlefront, all those.
Yeah.
Its art style is ridiculously refined, and it looks like such a pretty game.
It does.
And so, as much as Fortnite has a distinct style, It's just not that. The same way that PUBG looked good, but even the release always almost felt like a pre-release.
Mm-hmm.
It never felt completed, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where Apex, even just now as I'm sitting here looking at screenshots, looks fantastic. And if it plays even half as well as it looks, which given its success, I'm willing to say it does,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Because it, like,
Yeah.
just,
It looks interesting.
Mm-hmm. So EA, maybe you did something good once in your life. Good job.
Bring it to Switch. Then I'll play it. Because my PS4 is dead.
What happened to your PS4?
I don't know. I get no video. There's no signal.
Oh, no.
I've tried it on a whole bunch of other TVs. Tried out different HDMI cables. So it turns on and I can eject the discs and everything.
Shoot.
So I might call Sony and be like, how do I fix?
Do you need your Blu-ray player back?
Wow. No, I have a PS3
Oh, nice.
that I watch.
Dude.
I pretty much just use my PS4 for Netflix. So now I use my PS3 that I never used.
That's sneaky.
Yeah.
That is sneaky. You know what? Go support us on Patreon and let's get Kenny a new PS4. big
So I can
props.
play Apex.
Right now we don't have any official sponsors, so we're just going to sponsor ourselves. This week's episode sponsor is Unwind.
Who wouldn't want to invest in us?
Would I invest in me?
I would. Maybe.
Kenny said that, and then his face kind of gave this funky look that I can't really describe.
It's almost probably like I smelt a fart.
So yeah, something like that. If you join our Patreon, you can get on a exclusive Discord chat, and we'll post some screenshots of what Kenny's face looked like.
Oh yeah.
Some exclusive content from the photo shoot.
Quality content.
All the stuff we were sending each other the other day. All the beautiful in-between shots.
Yeah, so we got our proofs back from my friend Javier, who did our pictures.
Woo!
And then we went through them all. There's like 260 some odd pictures.
There's a lot.
There's a lot
There's
of
a
pictures.
lot more than I anticipated.
So then he was like, just go through them, pick some, and then he'll edit them. But there's some very interesting faces that we made.
He got an entire row of me just halfway through a sneeze.
It was great.
I don't even think that sneeze ever came out of me. So I think that the only benefit of that sneeze was those photos.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Now we have them forever.
Shoot. We're going to be 20 years down the road, and that's going to be the only memory of this podcast.
Just put that on your tombstone.
Etched in. Just a really bad photo of me on my tombstone.
And then like the little caption just going to be like, was not a real sneeze.
Skedaddle, skadoodle.
Skedaddle, skadoodle.
Skedaddle, skadoodle. Throwback to Tuesday and not very good Harry Potter quotes. I finally finished Harry Potter for the first time.
So good, right?
Really, really good experience. If you haven't, I would recommend, despite the fact that they're like 12 years old now. Still
That's
good.
fine.
The first 3 are slow.
Mm-hmm.
They're slow. They are a grind to get through. Plus, like, in the first one, child actors, their acting was slightly lackluster, but at the same time, they are child actors, so I
Yeah.
give them, like, a lot of grace.
They do get better.
Oh, no, 100%. By the last 2-3 films, really
Yeah.
good. Really good. And a bit more action. Still not as much as I maybe anticipated.
Mm.
There's the one big battle.
The last.
Yeah. Was that in the last movie?
The Battle for Hogwarts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was dope. But still coming from a person who grew up watching Lord of the Rings and Star Wars,
Yeah.
I feel like my expectations were potentially incorrectly high.
Mm.
But
I still need to
Really,
watch
storyline.
Fantastic Beasts 2.
is it out now?
It is coming out soon. I know on like DVD and Blu-ray. It's almost here.
It's the one that had the controversial Johnny Depp in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Eh,
I don't want to get into it.
yeah. It's too sad.
Welcome to the Almost Politics Minute. I don't know what happened, and I don't want to get into it. If you want to tell us, let us know. But we don't want to tell you. So.
But yeah,
good luck.
I heard mixed reviews about it from my friends. Some of them were like, it was great. Some of them didn't like it. But yeah, I'm interested. I like the first one. The first one was pretty
First
good.
one was good.
I really like Eddie Redmayne,
I don't know who that is.
the main guy.
Oh, yeah.
I like his character. He's a Hufflepuff. I feel like I am a Hufflepuff, despite what Pottermore tells me.
Whatever
as I'm a Slytherin.
That's exactly something a Slytherin would say. Yo, Harry Potter people are like the nerd version of girls who do like astronomy. It's like, that's exactly what you'd say. You're such a Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff?
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
No. But yeah, I feel like I'm either Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff, but I'm more on the Hufflepuff side.
I can see that more.
Right?
I've gotten a Ravenclaw on every single test I've ever done.
Yeah, I got Slytherin on Pottermore. I've gotten Ravenclaw on some just random ones I found on the internet. Never Hufflepuff though.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not. You're a
Yeah.
Slytherin at heart and you know it. You're trying
It's
to trick
because
yourself.
because lots of the questions on Pottermore were like, would you like it sunny or would you like dark things? I'm like, I like black, sure. And then I guess that means I'm a bad guy.
I guess you're a dark individual inherently.
Haha.
Guess you'll change your name to Snape.
Man, Snape.
I guess that's his last
character.
name. I was about to like roast him for his name. I'm like,
Cerberus
who would name
Snape.
their kid? Okay, still, who would name their kid Cerberus? Or
It's like that kid is bound to be a bad guy.
Cerberus? If your initials are SS, like,
He should be named after a boat.
is there a boat called an SS?
Yeah.
Or is that a type of?
I don't
Boat.
know. I just know in Pokemon they have the ship in the Kanto region,
Okay.
which is in the first game.
If I type in
as the
Oh.
SSN.
I just typed in SS to see what comes up, and the first thing that comes up is the the Nazi party's like special forces.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I guess that happened. So on the topic of Nazis, SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. Not where I thought you were going.
I don't want to talk about Nazis. Do
But
you
you're
want-
like on the topic of Nazis.
boom, hit you with the old switcheroo.
Yeah, what happened at the Super Bowl? That was disappointing.
Awful. I didn't even grow up watching SpongeBob, and I was disappointed. You can't hit him with the switcheroo like that, especially with the amount of people who were wanting that. They got like thousands of signatures on a thing.
It was
online.
over 100,000, I think. And then they're like, haha, sicko mode. I'm like, no.
Okay, you could have done sicko mode, and no one would have cared if you
Ugh.
didn't give it the 30-second SpongeBob interlude.
They just did it. It was like YouTube Rewind. Just like, oh, oh no, that was disappointing.
Are
Thanks a lot.
we even surprised about YouTube Rewind, though? It's been getting worse ever
Yeah.
since it started.
The first one that I remember, apparently the first one is, I watched a video on this. It was Rebecca Black
Ugh.
just going through like the top 10 last YouTube videos of the year. She just went through them and talked about them.
Okay, that's not like, okay, I guess. Like, why would you pick Rebecca Black? But I
Because
guess.
that's when Friday came out. That's when the first Rewind came out.
Okay.
So she was like super relevant, kind of. But yeah, they shouldn't have done that to poor SpongeBob.
Yeah, it was just a bad call overall in just every way that they could have messed it up.
Yeah.
They kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows how out of touch the large content creators can be with their audience sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is a big disconnect issue, which is funny because I guess that's back to the YouTube thing. That's why people like YouTube, is because the content creators are so relevant and so relatable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I heard that SpongeBob is getting spin-offs. I'm like, I feel like SpongeBob should be done. It's been going on too
for, like,
long. It's almost like The Simpsons.
Yeah. Some of those shows, Simpsons, Family Guy, I don't know if they're still going, but
Simpsons got renewed for like 2 more seasons.
oof.
I'm like, oh,
How much is too much?
yeah.
It's what we were talking about in the first episode about the Avatar.
Mhm.
Is it had the 4 seasons, it was well put together, it was well done, boom,
Mhm.
set. Where some of them just don't have a notable end and they just go on too long.
Yeah. They were like, we don't know what the spin-offs are gonna be about. Maybe like a special series just dedicated to adventures with SpongeBob and Patrick, or like a series with Sandy. I'm like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
And then I find it very suspicious because the creator of SpongeBob just passed. So I'm like,
They're gonna screw things up.
they're gonna screw things up, ruin his legacy, and then it's just
I don't think you could though ruin his legacy.
yeah. But I'm like, they waited until he
Mhm.
passed away, and they're like, hey, we're gonna make more money off of this guy's
Mm.
characters and stuff,
Totally.
which just irks me the wrong way.
Well, it's the same thing they did with Star Wars. Once they bought it from,
Lucasfilms.
yeah, and he's alive, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's still making. I don't know if he still get.
I think he's still
money.
involved, but like, say for example, the character who plays Luke, I don't know the actor's name.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
He also
He
voiced
said that.
Fire Lord Ozai.
Oh, super
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know, I guess.
Up.
But he said that they screwed up the next Star Wars film because like they've entirely changed what the Force is
Mm.
and all that. And I don't have any issues with branching out into new areas, but if there's core things, it'd be like changing the description of magic in Harry Potter or trying to claim that Hermione is black.
I also okay.
Did you hear about that?
No,
Um,
I know in the West End Broadway play, the sequel, they cast a black actress as Hermione.
well, on her Twitter, J.K. Rowling went on and was like, "Yo, she has curly hair. Didn't you guys pick up?" But in her book, she calls her white.
Oh,
So like,
well,
it's super funny because she's contradicting herself. I don't care what ethnicity Hermione is, but
Mm.
if you wrote her in one way, it's like, okay.
yeah.
Super funny.
You
But,
ever watch All That?
No. What is it?
Aw. It's like sketch comedy for kids that was on Nickelodeon. Amanda Bynes was on it.
Okay.
Bunch of SNL people. But yeah, they're reviving that too.
Cool. I didn't really grow up watching a lot of cartoons. What would I watched on Sundays? I would watch The Amazing Race with my family. That was one
Nice.
that we'd watch. I watched the Clone Wars. That was probably the most I've ever watched of a show.
Season
say, as a kid.
7 this year.
I'm so excited!
I'm so excited for them to just like finish it, give it a proper ending.
Oh, it'll be so good.
I'm gonna be so disappointed if it sucks.
I don't want to talk about it.
Did you ever watch Rebels?
I'm a Star Wars fanatic. I
know.
love Star Wars. It's so good.
Yeah.
But yo, we should probably wrap up. Yo, give us your thoughts on if there should be a SpongeBob reboot, and if you think so, like why, and what do you think is gonna happen with it?
Yeah. Personally, I think it's kind of like beating a dead horse.
Yo, it's pretty fun if you ever I'm just kidding.
All right.
I have not beaten a dead horse.
We're gonna end on that, I guess.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.